Welcome to a special episode edition of Middle of the Order. My name's Andrew Dagostino. That is my special guest, Kristopher Drew. And today we're going to talk all things baseball, WBC, and then we'll go over Gerrit Cole and all that other stuff. But first, Chris, how you doing today, my man?
Really good, man. Happy to be talking ball. Happy that we're gonna talk WBC today, but then we're gonna put it behind us and get back on board with our teams. So I'm excited for that. Obviously, taking a day, taking 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever, to talk WBC. But I think opening day is right around the corner, right around the corner.
Yeah, it's something like 10 days by now.
Yeah, 10 days.
Yankees Giants, man, they're going on Netflix.
Yeah, and then you guys or Cleveland is out west to start the year, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got our annual West trip in
Yeah,
Seattle.
the early
not very
west.
excited.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, but just want to talk briefly about last night's game. Venezuela had that big, shocking defeat of the United States yesterday, 3-2 victory, with Eugenio Suarez's double in the gap. And I just want to get your overall initial thoughts of what you thought watching the game. Obviously, we'll talk about the offensive struggles and so on and so forth. But what were your initial thoughts watching it?
Dude, that game was so funky, and it takes me two different parts. I had to keep reminding myself that a lot of these superstar players don't even really get going until the second half of the first month of the year is when everybody's timing is right. And to me, that's the only thing I can lean back on to wonder why the offense was so sluggish. I know historically, Judge is bad in the early parts of the year. He's bad in March. I know historically Schwarber takes a little bit to get going. I know that Bryce Harper takes a little bit to get going usually. But for some reason, I tucked myself into believing that these guys are going to be ready a lot earlier because adrenaline, because they know the ramp up was earlier. But yesterday felt like spring training one in terms of what kind of even at bats we were getting. You and I talked before the show, just not putting together quality at bats. And then also when you do make contact, it's a lot of weak contact. I mean, there's no reason that any team should hold that U.S. lineup to under 5 runs. And we're talking about the last 2 times USA Baseball, that lineup was out there, 2-2. That's just not enough given the amount of firepower. It makes you feel like those guys were either not ramped up. Well, that's the only thing I can get back to, or they were just checked out or maybe passing to the next guy, because there's no way that a lineup that deep doesn't score at least 5 runs, especially given the quality pitcher they were going up against.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said before the show, and I even said, a lot of those guys saw Eduardo Rodriguez 40 times in their career, except for maybe Roman Anthony and Bryce Terang. But to me, it just felt like, one, it looked like they were out on a long road trip and looked sluggish, like it was a getaway day vibe, kind of like that Italy game. But two, everybody out in front of their front foots, taking changeups, they looked confused. They looked like they didn't have any game plan or approach against any of these pitchers. And, Venezuela struck them out 10 times. The game before, the DR struck out this lineup 15 times. I think the results would be different, this is my opinion, if the WBC was at the All-Star break. Like you said, it takes a while for these guys to ramp up.
Get their timing right.
Yeah, get their timing down, get their swings right. Hitting off the machine is one thing, but actually seeing live pitching for 3 to 4 months, having your approach is different than just going off the hack attack and just swinging as hard as you can and trying to go pull side all the time. But yeah, it to me,
and
man.
Wait, let me cut you off there. It also makes me wonder about each of these guys and their process when they're with their big league club. For one, I know that Aaron Judge, whenever he strikes out, we're on the iPad with Big G and all those guys kind of all right, what did you see? What did you see? What did you see? That communication style, guys that hit around Aaron Judge know what he likes back, in terms of other at bats. I wonder the guys not having their normal crew of hitting coaches or eyes on things, how much those guys felt like fish out of water, especially in that kind of game, because when the pressure was high, they all looked like fish out of water. In fact, I don't even think that Bryce Harper put together any good at bats. I just think he got a fastball and was sitting dead red and put a great swing on it. So for me, it just looked like a collection of guys that were way out of water. And when I go back to and think about guys who were way out of water, I mean, the fact that Cal Raleigh was unplayable at the end there to me is oh yeah, you're way out of water, because you're a catcher. You're supposed to be able to pick up on things a little bit quicker. And he just was horrible the entire tournament.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because they were talking about it. I think it was Morosi in one of the games said that one of the teams, I think it was Venezuela, didn't have the iPads. A bunch of these teams didn't have the iPads to go over the film. And Italy was one of them. And the Italy hitting coach finally got the iPads, I think, for the Venezuela game. And they were talking about how hard and different it was to see like the deceptions, like all that sort of stuff that goes into, making an approach and a game plan.
Yeah, what
And
they normally get.
yeah. So that too, and then you gotta feel like the comfortability of like Aaron Judge working with the Yankee hitting coach. Like they're comfortable enough to go up to them. Like you don't really know these guys that they're working with right now. If they're only gonna be with them for only 2 to 3 weeks.
And they are guys that are so familiar with your mechanics, they can point
Yeah,
out what the misstep was. Because like you pointed out, like Aaron Judge's weight felt like it was in the wrong spot every swing.
for sure. Yeah.
Felt like it was in the wrong
Yeah.
spot. So I don't know. I hate making excuses for these guys because we're talking about, a USA lineup that everybody's making well over $100 million. But that's
Mhm.
the only way I can rationalize it. And also it's a coin flip. Baseball's a sport of failure. You only, in a single elim thing, this just kind of is what you can run into.
Yeah, and my thing too is like I hate these single elimination games. I know that's because of, the beginning of the season.
Timing.
To me, that's just
Mhm.
not baseball because like I feel like, and this might be a little petty, if the United States played them in a 7 game series, I feel like they would win, but we
In
can't
5.
really put that out there. Yeah, I'd say
Right.
they win in
It's
5,
it's a
right?
it's a loser thing if
Mhm.
the players say it, but we're podcasters, big dog. We can say it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's just my opinion because, like, I guess, like, Noel McLean was the lights were too bright for him. Young kid, only had 8 starts. That, makes sense of why they would lose this game the fashion that they
Mhm.
did, but they also only had 3 hits, and they were awful, and they don't even have any stats for runners in scoring position. They didn't have a runner in scoring position the entire game. The
Which
only
is
big time hit
disgraceful.
was the 2-out home run by, Bryce Harper. So, to me, it was either they were pressing or they were just completely outmatched by Venezuelan pitching, which I have a hard time believing with this
Yeah,
lineup, no
shouldn't that
matter
should
what.
never be the case. Should never be
Yeah,
the case.
absolutely. Like, I have a hard time believing that, Will Smith looking the way like he did, pure hitter, right-handed power guy that throughout his career has been one of the best offensive catchers in baseball, and he looked foolish every time he was up there. So, yeah, I mean, completely disappointed with this team, and that's all I got on this. But for you, I do have a question for you. Timeline has been very critical of Mark DeRosa in his management styles and all that. He wants to come back for the next WBC. Are you welcoming to that? And what are your just opinions overall? You think the fans are overreacting to this?
Yeah, I think they're overreacting a little bit. Obviously, like he did make some mistakes, and it was a glaring one. Now, if they don't make it out of pool play, I don't bring back DeRosa. But look, the manager's job to me, like in this kind of setting, is recruit the best team possible. And I think he did that. I think this was the best USA team we've ever seen. And so for me, it's like if you recruit the right guys, go for it. And I'm not too pressed about it. It's going to look a lot different the next WBC, but I'd be okay with bringing DeRosa back. But at the same time, like I wouldn't be mad if they moved on because a lot of the players that were kind of the face of this one won't be there for the next one. Like this, there won't be a Judge, Schwarber, Harper for the next WBC. Like it's
Mhm.
over for those boys.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but I'm going to give him credit as, for warranted credit. Bringing in a guy like Aaron Judge that, for the past couple of years was not a part of the WBC was huge because the face of America was Mike Trout. He got that in. Like stars in the past didn't want to play for Team USA. So
Yeah.
bringing that culture and bringing guys that want to play for this team is very important, especially the way that this tournament is evolving. And to me, I want to ask you, like, do you think this is a passion and energy thing? Like, it doesn't feel like United States fans or players are as invested in the WBC compared to like the Caribbean countries like the DR, Venezuela, like Japan. Like, do you
Yeah.
think it's just a passion energy thing?
Well, the passion from the USA will never actually match up to passion from, like, other countries because, like, in the America, baseball's a regional sport. So, like, Andrew, here we go. Let me ask you, like, if Manzardo's on the team, would you rather the USA win or would you rather the Guardians win a World Series?
Guardians win a World Series.
Exactly, like, Venezuela
Yeah,
doesn't have that. For
yeah.
Venezuela, there is no regional team they root for. The
Mhm.
regional team in this setting is Venezuela. Like, yes, they have their own pro leagues, but this is like, grand stage, us almost versus the USA in some respects, let's say MLB players. And so, like, you see it on the timeline, like, Americans aren't supporting, like, all Americans, right? Like, at least all the way across. Like, you see, like fans of the Boston Red Sox. Oh, look, Aaron Judge falls through again. Like there's like that going on. There's not that kind of inner rivalry with the other places. There's just not that going on. So
Yeah.
I don't think the USA fans will ever be actually fully into it because here we go. I'm a Yankee fan. Now the WBC's over. Go win me a World Series. Like Aaron Judge's legacy doesn't change if they win the WBC. It
No,
doesn't.
not at
It's
all.
always going to be like go win a World Series. And so for me, I think that being a part of it is why the USA will never be as into it as other places.
And here we go. This is another thing I want to build on. Like Aaron Judge's legacy, I feel like people are going to forget that he was 2 for 11 in elimination games of this tournament because they're more focused on like one, he's the greatest right-handed hitter of all time, and he's playing for the biggest brand in the sport, right? If he
Yeah.
goes out, let's say he doesn't finish his career with a World Series ring, he'll be remembered that more than he will for a WBC title, right? So
Yeah.
that's another point I want to make too. But man, the fans were hard on him, dude. I
Dude,
just
they were
want to
so
point
hard
that
on
out.
him. It's just crazy because like
Yeah,
it's like fans are hard on him, and those same fans wanted Cal Riley to win MVP a year ago, but no one. It's all crickets about Cal. Cal went
yeah,
hitless whole tournament.
yeah. Oh for 14.
Over
He was
didn't
awful.
record a hit the entire WBC.
Yeah, just awful, man. Just awful.
Mhm.
But I do want to talk about your Yankees. Moving on. Gerrit Cole made his first spring training and start, really, since his Tommy John surgery. Won an inning, gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, no strikeouts. Give me your overall look. Like, so he's targeting to come back in June and July.
Correct.
What are your expectations for Gerrit Cole and for this Yankees rotation this season?
I'm pretty sure it'll be July. For Gerrit Cole, it was nice to see him go out there just for one inning of work. It was good to see the fastball touch 98, and it was good to see the shape looks pretty good. It is funny because it is 2 hits, but the one hit was a first pitch bunt attempt, which I think is ridiculous for a guy that just got back out there after Tommy John surgery. The command is always the last thing to come in because obviously velo and then kind of honing the mechanics. It looks like an unction though. It looks like, okay, Unc, like welcome to the DeGrom phase of your life. Welcome to the Chris Sale phase of your life. It was nice to see him kind of pitch to contact, use that 2-seamer a lot to kind of get ground balls because for giving up 2 hits, he only threw 10 pitches to get through the 1 inning. So it's like, even though there was some contact and no strikeouts, it was still pretty quick work. And that's something that I think is going to be important and impressive for him. And people always talk about, oh, this Yankees team, all they're doing is running it back. It's like, no, they're running it back thinking they're going to get Gerrit Cole too, who I think in 2024 probably pitched that back half of the year with an injured elbow.
For sure. Yeah.
Looking back on it, and then also had the 60 pitch, inning in game 5, which we don't have to ever talk about again. But for me, it's like, I mean, you now essentially freed, like fully healthy, freed Cole, Rodon, Will Warren, LeGrand, like that to me is a strong, firm 5. And then Clark Schmidt will be back at some point too, if LeGrand and Slitler too. Slitler, who I think is going to be a guy that gets Cy Young votes at some point. You got to feel like this Yankees staff, well, maybe not top end hyper elite, like they won't have anybody that's a Cy Young candidate, but they're going to have 4 or 5 guys who I'm comfortable with making a playoff start. And I think that's important given the fact that, yes, they're running back this offense, but an offense that was the best in baseball a year ago. So I'm happy for Cole. I'm excited for Cole. I'm excited to see him in July, but I'm also excited that, he'll be out for a little bit along with Schmidt and Rodon to give those young guys some chances. Like Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, the number 2 guy in the farm, he's going to pitch. Like Ryan Weathers, who I am obsessed with his stuff and think that, all about Matt Blake. I think him and Matt Blake could, become a monster. So I'm excited that like, A, those guys are going to have less innings on their body by the end of the year, similar to how the Dodgers work things. B, we're going to get a shot to see the young guys. And C, like, think about it. Like, injuries last year is what allowed us to see Cam Schlittler early. And he's like one of the bright young stars. So I feel good about where this rotation is, and I feel good that Cole's already hitting 98.
Yeah, dude, this is kind of, I'm going to say, this is kind of the perfect outing you wanted him to have, especially
Yeah.
just coming off Tommy John. 10 pitches, 1 inning. This is really just him trying to get a feel and get his work in, right? Simulated games. It's different from pitching to like Ahmed Rosario in a simulated live at-bats where
Yeah.
there's no actual base running, there's no defense behind you compared to your first spring start, right? He's going to have nerves because one, he's thinking in the back of his mind, like,
Is this
my
elbow going to hold up?
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
Is this elbow
exactly.
going to hold up?
And, he's also got a lot of expectations on him. This is a former Cy Young Award winner, and this is a ace that's been one of the best pitchers in baseball for the past decade. But yeah, dude, if I was a Yankee fan, and I know, like, for you, I'd be very confident in like a 7-game series with Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, and
Mhm.
Gerrit Cole going as your top 3 in a, best of 7, best of 5, ALDS, something like that. And
Look,
like,
and I also
yeah,
feel good with I feel good with Rodon making playoff starts.
oh, I do too. I do too. And you know, he kills my team, but like
Dude, he's so crazy good against you guys, and all he does is spam 4 teams and sliders, bro. That's
sliders,
it.
back foot sliders of the righties. It's
Dude
like
just spams them,
spamming.
bro.
It's crazy. It's like playing MLB The Show. He's pressing X for slider. It's
Every
every
trip, dude.
time.
He shoves against you guys.
He does, man. I do want to point out too, like I feel like in just my only concern about this roster is the catching position. I do think Austin Wells could have a bounce back year. Just you know how he played in the WBC, his at bats looked a lot better. But JC Escara to me, like I think he can, you know, be a serviceable backup. But you guys need a right-handed catcher, like Jose Trevino was, like a guy that you know plays good defense but can also hit against lefties. That's my only concern with this roster. But
Yeah, big
like you
dog.
said, the
It's not
protect.
happening. There's
No,
there's no right-handed catchers. We're
yeah.
breaking camp with 3 left-handed catchers.
Yeah, man. That's my only thing. Like because this, like you said, this is an offense that was number 1 in slug, OPS. You know, all the categories in the American League, they were top 5. That's my only hole in this roster is the catching position.
Yeah, and the thing is, they gutted the farm in terms of, like, catchers.
Mhm.
Because
Oh
the
yeah.
Carlos Narvaez, the Boston catcher, righty pop, you know, that's who they traded they traded him for Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. That was their other righty catcher. And then Agustin Ramirez, the Marlins
Marlins
catcher,
catcher, yeah.
uh, was the other right-handed power bat. So it's like they just gutted him to get Jazz and to get Elmer Rodriguez Cruz were those 2 moves. And they were like, look, we know that we created a hole in our you know, in our farm, and it's gonna have to be Ben Rice, Cia Scar, and Austin Wells. And then the other right-handed catcher, they traded Rafael Flores for David Bednar.
Yeah, but you needed Bednar. The
Yeah, no, they did.
Yankees
I'm saying
needed, yeah.
they punted on righty catchers.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but like I get those moves because obviously you needed Bednar last year. You needed Duvall last year for the bullpen. That was like, you know, a little sketchy in the beginning of the year and ended
Yeah.
up being bad. But I think they're gonna bounce back for sure. That bullpen is just too good with the names that they
That'll be
got.
good. And also, like, the young
Yeah,
arms in there will be good. Like, if Ryan Weathers doesn't make the rotation, he'll be, like, a good bullpen arm.
mhm, for
So, no,
sure.
I'm not worried. But I do agree with you. I would love to have a righty bat, but they had 3 guys that were, like, good righty catchers, and
Dude,
they
yeah,
all 3 of them they moved on from.
I feel like Carlos Narvaez would just absolutely just rake at Yankee Stadium. Just the way he's
Yeah.
been producing for the Red Sox, and that is still a good trade. Like honestly, the return they got for that, like nobody talks about it. Great, great prospect, dude. Great
Yeah, I
prospect.
mean, and it works if Elmer Rodriguez Cruz is really good this year, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what it works, is they think that
Mhm.
they have a starter, and it's like their point was they liked Ben Rice's bat and versatility more than they liked Narvaez's, and so it's like, you know, we will risk carrying the 3 lefty catchers. You just hope that Ben Rice hits against lefties at some point, or Austin Wells hits against lefties at some point, which neither of them have proven to be able to do,
Mhm.
so
Well, I feel like Ben Rice doesn't really get the opportunities to hit against lefties. It's
Well,
more,
he did
yeah.
early. He
Mhm.
did early because remember, last year, Giancarlo missed
Yeah, you're right because of the
all
elbow.
that time.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm, and then they turned him
Yeah.
into a platoon bat
Mhm.
later on
Yeah.
once Burrow got back.
Yeah, man. I just, you know, this Yankees team just really intrigues me. I do think they'll have, you know, another competitive finish for this division. Toronto, you know, built up their rotation, you know, but I still think they're the Yankees. They're like Ohio State. They're always going to be competitive. They're always going to be in contention for that division title. And, you know, later on in the show, I got a game for us and I'll have you, you know, make your bold prediction about it. But
Good.
next thing up, man, we're going to talk about my Guardians and hearing little grumblings, you know, in the clubhouse that potentially Nolan Jones won't be making the opening day roster. And for a team that for the past couple of years that has really bad offensive production in their outfield, Chase Salata and George Valera have been both very impressive in, you know, spring training, and including a guy like Angel Martinez, who's also been very impressive to spring training. While Cleveland's moving over Stephen Kwan to center field, I want you to like kind of just, you know, pick your brain, pick the 2
Okay,
that
can
you
I
think.
ask, is he gonna be the opening day center fielder?
I think so because they've been playing him a lot, or they're using it for trade bait.
That's what I
Honestly,
think. I think
yeah,
this is inflate the value because you wouldn't wanna inflate the WAR For what, his final year of ARB is next year, or is it this year?
It's next year, yeah. So
So
he's got a half a year.
you
Yeah.
wouldn't want to inflate the WAR for that
Mhm.
final year of ARB in center field. So to me, the center field move is to prove he can play it so they can trade him. Because I think like the more natural center field body and profile is the louder.
For sure, but he's got the right foot issue that's been
Yeah.
plaguing him his entire career. That's why I think him and Valera are great at the corners.
And then
Um,
Angel, I think to
yeah.
me, Angel reminds me so much of Young Jazz. I think it's insane, just for the
He
record.
does. He does though. Like, he was only 23 last year, not very impressive, but like you're talking about young Jazz. Jazz when he came up too, like speedy guy, just
Speedy,
earned
swing and
yeah.
miss, bad eye,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
power when he caught it. It just had to work to make pitchers pitch to him.
Mhm. For sure. And Neil Martinez is a good hitter against left-handed pitching, really good fastball hitter in that count too. And for me, if he can improve like to tap in that power potential that these scouts brought him in, he was like at a 50-55 power grade, which is like, 15 to 20 home run guy, which is what Cleveland needs.
Right.
That's easier to move on from Stephen Kwan if one of those three really develop into not just a star player, but like a suitable guy that, above a league average OPS, 750 OPS, 800 OPS guy.
No, I agree. I guess for me, I think the Nolan Jones thing, if he doesn't end up making the roster, I think that frees up a ton of space and gives a ton of flexibility. Because my thing is like DeLauder needs to be with a big league club. Like DeLauder,
For
what during
sure.
the WBC, the 115-mile-per-hour double in the corner. I mean
Crazy.
that ball rolled to the wall. You know how hard you. I mean, you play ball. You got to hit a ball so hard to have it roll to the wall, especially in an MLB game.
Dude, yeah, and, like, think about it like this. I'm nerding out right now, but, like, their grass there, it's not like turf at all. Like, that ball's
No,
supposed to
that's
slow
grass.
down, and in
Yeah,
Arizona, it rains a little bit in the morning, not as much as Florida, but a little bit enough to get a little bit slick surface, so it does slow down. But, yeah, dude, you have to barrel that ball up so hard for it to roll all the way to the wall, and, like, to roll that fast, like,
yeah.
115.3 miles per hour off the bat, and just impressive stuff by him. I think he's gonna be a great ball player. I think he's gonna tap into, like, a 25 homer season. Like, I think he'll be an immediate impact. What do you think?
Dude, he's so fat. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that like it'll be cool. I'll probably make a bet him or Manzardo more home runs this year, and really contingent on playing time. I like him a lot. I like his upside. I think he's a unique profile because like a mistake is missing in off the plate to him because he has ridiculous hand speed and ridiculous pop to where like it almost you almost like if you have to pitch him outer half or outside, you can't throw balls inside because he'll just pull the hands in and
Yeah,
slug.
extremely short swing,
Yeah,
extremely.
well, the ability to pull the hands in and slug, so like you could miss legitimately. I mean, shoot, we saw a pitcher miss what was it, 1.8 inches off the inside corner at 98 miles per hour, and he hit it 400 feet.
Yeah, that
So
home
like
run against Rockies? Yeah,
yeah, so it's like if he's able
crazy.
to do that, you just can't like you cut off a whole section of non-strikes that you can't throw him, and that's like a unique, rare profile.
Yeah, and it's gonna take a little bit too for, pitchers to adjust to that because
Mhm.
he's shown the ability to hit the ball the other way too. Very good at hitting down and away changeups. He's showed that his entire career in, like, AAA and AA, taking the ball the other way. So, pitchers have their work cut out for pitching Chase DeLauder. Um, Another guy that I wanna also touch on is Travis Bazzana. I know he's not making the major league club out of spring training, but very impressive spring. And he showed, strong signs of the WBC. I just want to get your thoughts about it. Let's say like Gabriel Arias he does not very impress me at all. If he continues the way he plays, you think that a switch is coming for Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, and a switch has to come, right? Like Bazzana has to play this year. Bazzana has to play 100 games this year. He's the number one overall pick, 1-1, first ever first baseman to ever be 1-1. Older than Nick Kurtz, Caglione, Condone, like older than all those dudes. Like he has to play. I do think there's been some like Cleveland propaganda as to why he's not playing. And one of the things that people reference is always like the defense, the defense, the defense. I think he's a league average to above league average defender at second base, and he doesn't make moron mistakes like some things we see out there. And I also think that like you are so desperate for offense, play him, play him. I think he's got Corbin Carroll power potential, like, in that kind of frame, but is likely gonna sit between 15 and 25 home runs. Showed a lot more pop than I think. I like the swing a lot. I think it'll play. It'll give you a lot of low line drives. I think you have to play him early because we don't know for sure that Arias or Rocchio is a part of this Guardians future. We know for sure that Bazana is, and Tyler and I were talking about a tweet earlier, and it was about if you are on a team that is a contending team, it is about doing right for the team first, not doing right for the player first. So
For
even
sure.
if you're worried about his overall development, if you bring him up right now, you could sort that out later on. He's the number one overall pick. He's older than Nick Kurtz and all those other guys. Play him. There's no reason that the number one overall pick is older than everybody else, and other guys are going to be playing for contending teams. There's no reason that he's not up when everybody else, like the rest of the top 5 outside of Charlie, they're gonna be up.
For sure. Yeah. Weatherholt's going to be up too. He was the 7th pick.
Yeah.
Well, that
And
says
then
a lot. Yeah.
Charlie's gonna, I mean, not Charlie, Connor Griffin's gonna be up too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll break camp. I think he'll break camp, even though he's struggling right now. But dude, like you were saying, like the amount of guys in that draft class, I think this might be one of the best draft classes in the history of the sport when
Is
it's all
stat.
said and done.
But
Yeah.
it'll only be that if Bazana ends up being a
Lozano's
good
yeah.
player.
Yeah, and my initial, like, evaluation of him from what I watched in college, I think he'll be like an 800 OPS guy, but it's gonna be more doubles. He'll be a doubles machine. He'll be like a
Yeah.
top 10 guy in doubles. I don't think
But
he'll
dude,
hit like
that's why
20
I thought
home
about
run,
Corbin. That's why
25.
I thought about Corbin Carroll. Like Corbin
Yeah.
lifts the ball more, but
Mhm.
I think they have like similar body types.
They do, and Corbin also put on a lot of muscle after his rookie year too,
Yeah,
which
and he
it
changed his
didn't
swing.
disrupt his speed at all, which is wild to me. Like,
Yeah, he went launch angle swing
yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll, 5'10", 165. He probably weighs close to 185 right now,
Yeah,
but went 25, 22, 31. I think Bazana can absolutely get there.
for
Now, I
sure.
don't know if he's got the pop that Carroll had on the, oh, this is in Colorado. Does it really count? He went
Mhm.
474.
Christ. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
dude. That doesn't
Yeah,
that's like
that
if you adjust that for where you're at, dude, that ball went 430. Still a bomb,
yeah,
but 474 from Corbin Carroll, get out of here.
crazy, man.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But triples monster, right? Like Corbin Carroll was a
Mhm.
triples monster.
Dude, yeah, that's why I hope Stuart Fairchild can be for this team, like, but I don't think he's gonna be anything close to Corbin Carroll's production, but
No,
I
he's a
don't
speed demon though.
yeah, I do wanna ask, like, who are your 4 outfielders? Like, I forgot to ask that. I got straight into Travis Bazzana 'cause, Cleveland fans, we
Who are
get
my 4
excited.
outfielders for the Guardians?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm starting to louder in one of the corners. I think Valera, Quan, and Angel. Did I
yeah.
forget somebody?
Yeah. Well, Kafis, he might be the odd man out in general.
Kafis is the odd man out.
Yeah.
You guys need to go ahead and just trade Kafis to New
Dude,
York.
yeah.
Take care of him.
Trade him to the
I
Yankees.
love Kafis, dude, but he's absolutely the odd man out.
Dude, he plays some good D out there for a big man, like, when he's in right field.
Yeah.
He can cover some ground. He's got some good pop, good frame. Like, I could see him having some good years in the majors. He's just like right now he's in that scenario where, Eniel Martinez is hitting well. Delauder and Valera just showed you last year that he can stick with the best and show up in the big moment. So you have to
Yeah.
give him a shot. And Quan is Quan. Like, you know what you're going to get out of him. Will I like to see better offensive production than I did last year? Absolutely. But yeah, I
I
think
mean,
that
the thing is, like, you're
yeah.
gonna move Quan though this year, and that's gonna give you the 4 outfielders with Kafis.
Yeah, it too. And like if we're below the contention too, not, close to making the playoffs, we're gonna move on from Maurice Hoskins too, that we signed in free agency. So he'll have opportunities to play first base too. He's the better defender out of the 3. So just keep that in mind too. But
And then Ralphie might be the reason though you move on from,
oh yeah. Dude, that kid's a
um
stud.
yeah, Ralphie's a
Another
monster. I
doubles
think
machine. Yeah.
yeah, MLB Pipeline has him ETA 2027.
Okay, so he's climbed. He was last year, I think 2028. So he's climbed up after
Yeah.
the big spring he had.
Well, him and Angel both bumped up a year because Angel's ETA was also 2027
Yeah.
last year, but now they have him at ETA 2026,
hmm
which this season I don't think we're gonna see Angel though.
No, Gano also like he's got
He's
a
small. He's really small to me,
yeah
man.
good contact ability, but like he needs to add more pop before like anything. Like
Mhm.
he just has no muscle. Like, it, I want my shortstop to, not be buff, but like not look like Slenderman out there, and that's what he kind of looks. He has an arm though for being that small.
No, he does. I went to see him
Yeah.
in Akron a couple times last year.
Mhm.
Actually, more than a couple times, way more than I'm actually willing to admit. I was probably at like 40 Akron games last year. He just looked and felt small to me.
Mhm. For sure, yeah. Hey man, but I want to play a little game real quick. Got some overs and unders, and
Love it.
we'll talk about all these teams and kind of just give our thoughts about what we see, how we project them going into this year. So believe I got 17. I can't count right now, but first team I got the Cincinnati Reds. Obviously, with the injuries to Hunter Green, the rotation, they did name that Chase Burns and Rhett Lauder and all those guys. I think it was Ben Williamson too made the rotation. Set at 80.5 over under win total. What do you got?
I'm going under. I think huge regression year. I just don't see it. I don't trust how the front office is maneuvering things. And for as much as I like the rotation, the two guys who I like the most, I mean, Hunter Green and Lodolo, they just can't stay healthy. And the fact that they waited this long on Hunter Green bugs me. So I'm under on them this year. I'm selling on them this year, bro. I'm calling huge regression.
Yeah. So when I was looking at them earlier in the year, early in spring, looking at the rotation healthy, I was thinking over, but they started off at like 83.5.
Yeah.
Right now. They're 80. So they went down 3 wins
3
after.
games.
Yeah, dude, which is crazy after the Green injury. And to your point too, like as your ace, like, and I know they were in playoff contention. The Mets had a monumental collapse last year, just like in 2007 that they had. But dude, like as you want to protect your franchise ace long term, right? And
Yeah.
knowing that, even if you make the playoffs, you're going to face like the Dodgers and like teams that you have no business playing against. Why don't you just shut them down, figure out what was wrong in the first place, right?
Andrew, I'm not even saying shut him down.
Yeah.
Just have the surgery after the year. Like,
Mhm.
this is the same exact injury that Carlos Rodon had. Carlos Rodon, they knew what was going on. He wanted to pitch. He gave him their best shot, pitched, and then when the season ended, what did they go do? Went in there to go clean it up.
Mhm.
He's still going to miss time this year. The fact that Hunter Green and the Reds let this whole thing go, let him make a start in spring training, and they're like, let's look into this now. You wasted all that time that he could have been rehabbing and been back early in the year.
Yeah, it's crazy. He could have been back if they did it. What was Rodon? He's mid-May or like something like that.
Yeah,
Or
mid-May.
yeah. So I mean, they could get Hunter Green back mid-May, and I'd be pretty confident in the Reds' odds still. But as I'm
Mhm.
looking at it right now, like you said, like I'm kind of out on them because one, their offense is still terrible. Losing out
Horrid.
on Andujar, who was kind of their main guy, like
Now
in the second half
they
of
did
the
add
year.
Gino, though. Like, I'll give him credit for adding
Yeah,
Gino, though.
yeah, Gino, yeah, but like to me, that's
He's
still
too
not
boomer
enough.
bust,
That's one guy.
low average.
Yeah.
They're gonna strike out
Mhm.
a ton, bro. They're gonna get mowed down.
Dude,
Whenever
they're
they
gonna.
face a team, like whenever
Yeah.
if they run into like one of the guys like Cam Schlittler or one of them, take the over on strikeouts. That
My
lineup's
God,
gonna get
Skeens.
mowed down.
They're gonna face
Yeah,
Skeens
Skeens
like
versus
4
them,
times a year. Yeah.
mowed down
I wish I could, like, bet on, like, their team strikeout total and, like, individual players, like, for, Elly
for
De La
Ellie and
Cruz
them.
and Suarez, he had to go over 200. I feel like I would
Dude,
make so much money off that.
Skeens versus them is gonna feel like Scooble versus Cleveland.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. Yeah. It's not gonna be fun to watch, but yeah, man, I'm out on the Reds. I don't think that they'll, Tito's a great manager, but he has talent. It's just not going to come together this year. That's just I 100% agree with you on that. And my next team that I got is my Cleveland Guardians at 79.5, which I think is pretty low for them. Obviously,
Over! I'll just cut
yeah,
you off.
over.
Over. The
Yeah.
Guardians always win 80 games. This is the easiest bet for me. They are too well run and they have enough young pieces. And with these young pieces, they do the thing where they always, at least 3 times a year, get scorching hot. I'm absolutely going over. I'm shocked that Vegas has them this low. I think Gavin is going to get Cy Young votes this year. Like, I am over on the Guards 100%.
Yeah, I agree too. And I'll put my Guardians glasses off. What if you just watch what goes on for the past 10 to 15 years? This has always been a competitive team that always hits over 80 wins.
Always.
Last time they did that when they were under was 23, and that was Tito's last year, where they had a monumental collapse with a bunch of injuries. Like you said, Gavin Williams has made some insane adjustments with Carl Willis. Last year, his fastball was one of the worst pitches during run value, and he replaced it with this sinker. And once he did that, he went on a really good run, was up there with majority of the aces in the league. And
I mean,
also,
him and Freddie Peralta were within like 0.05 points of ERA.
Yeah, exactly. And he went toe to toe with Skubal in that wild card game too. Both of them didn't have any, offensive production on either side, but to go toe to toe with Tarek Skubal is just impressive. And I hope that, Joey Cantillo figures it out and he could be a guy. I really like Cleveland's bullpen with Peyton Pallette, Rule 5 draft pick from the Chicago White Sox. Watch out for him. I think he could potentially take Hunter Gaddis' spot in the back end of the bullpen. Dude, he's a stud. Yeah, I'm telling
I'm
you.
listening.
Yeah.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah. So I'm high on them. I think Bo Naylor's going to have a great year too. If Cleveland,
I'm out on Bo. I'm not a. I think Bo needed his brother to keep his head on straight. He looks like a sad puppy out there, dude.
He does, but he made a really good adjustment last year, getting rid of his leg kick to a toe tap. And
a lot of catchers have done that too. Austin Wells did that same thing ahead of the WBC, and obviously made the first team All WBC.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like those toe taps. One, like as a hitter, like I did that too, and like your timing does get better. You're not rushed. You're kind of cheating. But, like, you have to be willing to make your adjustment later on, because once you start doing that, you'll be on time for the fastball, but you won't be able to hit, the slider down in a way that's going to come after you. But I think he's going to have a progression, and this team overall, just somebody needs to step up. But
yeah, no, bingo. I'm with you.
Other than that, we're done with the Guardians. Another team that I, really like, but a lot of teams don't, is the Miami Marlins. I think that they could be a very good team if they progress heavily, but their over-under win total is 72.5. What do you think?
I'm going over, not because I like them, because I think that's just way too low.
Yeah.
I think it's way too low.
Yeah, dude, I just like kind of the rotation a little bit. Like, they always have those pitchers, like we were talking about before the show. They have a bunch of guys that are throwers, not pitchers.
I like Yuri a lot, dude. I think he's healthy. That'll be really fun, dude.
I think, if he figures it out, like we said, if he cannot be a thrower and actually pitch, Cy Young Award candidate.
Yeah, and if he can stay healthy and just spam the fastball more, I think he'll be good even if he just throws. Like, that's a kid, and he's 6'8", and he's gonna sit 99.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll take. I got the over on them barely, though. I don't think they're gonna be a real dangerous team at any point. But I think the 72 is just way too low for them.
Yeah, for sure. You got to remember, they play the Nationals a bunch of times too, like 13 times a year. They're going to pick up 12 wins out of 13, 14. So you got to keep that in mind. And we'll move on to the next team, the Royals. The Kansas City Royals, I kind of like too. Great rotation, one of the best rotations in baseball.
Shout out Cole Reagans.
Cole Reagans, Chris Bubich is really fun to watch. Noah Cameron, all those sort of guys. But they also added offensively, and their over-under win total is 82.5. What do you think?
I'm going over, barely though. They're, to me, a dangerous team. Kel Garcia, I think, is one of the most underrated, players in all of baseball. Good old Jock. Good Cags. I think he'll take a step in the right direction. Vinny feels like he's at the peak of his power. And my favorite non-Yankee in the world is Bobby Witt Jr. So I'm very high on them. I mean, that's a dangerous enough lineup. It's a shark-infested lineup, and they also have the pitching to go along with it. So I'm in on KC this year.
Yeah, I'm going under, dude.
You are?
Yeah, I think that, with the Tigers being the Tigers, with the rotation that they have, Cleveland, I think, is just the better team not on paper, but they're always going to be in that division contention. I still think that they're going to be in playoff contention. Don't get me wrong, I'm taking the under, but the thing that really gets me concerned is the offense. Will they put it together? I know that they added Starling Marte to help with left-handed pitching. Same with Lane Thomas and all those boys. But it's always a thing for me, like, the Royals have a good top five, but after Salvi, it just goes off the rails for me. And if they can figure that out, where they have another couple guys step up, I think with their pitching, they will get over. But to me, as of now, I'm taking the under with the Royals.
Dude, I think all three make the playoffs.
Yeah, I could see it.
I mean, it happened 24.
It did, yeah. It did.
So like that's kind of where I'm at with I like the Royals this year a good amount.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of just had to take an under too. I feel
Yeah,
like I've gone
you have to
over.
take it under in that group for
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, all right. My next team I got for you, the White Sox at 67.5.
No matter what, under. I
Yeah.
hate the White Sox. Everything about the White Sox. Just they're gonna have a 6'10" lefty pitch this year from Noah Schultz, and he's gonna dominate. They're gonna only let him go 5 innings an outing, and they're gonna trade him to the Red Sox because that's all they do. They trade these
Big
tall,
lefty.
flame-throwing lefties to the White Sox, the ones that throw funky. First it was, Sale, then it was Crochet, and it's gonna be Schultz next, and you get back. You guys look that one up. Under just because I don't they're dude, like, their general manager thinks Baby Acuna is a switch hitter.
Yeah, that was insane.
Like, they're just so dysfunctional. I'm excited to watch them. I would have loved to see Luis Robert and Murakami in the same lineup together. I think that would have been cool. A little bit of double smash, but they just aren't gonna have the depth of the lineup. I don't think they're gonna have the pitching. But to me, they're gonna be a must watch because I think Murakami is playing for a big contract this year, so hitting velo is
Yeah.
gonna be important for him.
I'm also going under because, like, I do think this division, the top 3 are gonna be very good.
Really good, right?
Yeah, so they're gonna beat up on the White Sox, and their pitching staff's gonna be interesting to me. They got Shane Smith, right? They have Noah Schultz, Hagen Smith might make an appearance at some point, right? So they have those guys. Their bullpen is not very good at all. It's
No, their
gonna be the
bullpen
worst.
is food, man.
It's
Their
gonna be one
bullpen
of
is
the worst in
food.
baseball. And their lineup, they got Chase Mydroth, who I think is gonna, take a little bit of a step back. The Colson Montgomery, I think, will also take a step back too. He came up after making those adjustments and was the hottest hitter on the planet for a while. I don't think he sustains that success for a full season. Heart and soul of the lineup. You never know what you're going to get out of Munetaka either. All these Japanese guys, it does take them a little bit to adjust to major league pitching. We saw it with Seiya Suzuki. We've seen it
Oh,
even
with
with
Jung
Otani too, right?
I mean, Jung Ho Lee isn't Japanese, but he
No,
is
he's KBO, but he won the
yeah,
KBO MVP
KPO.
too, right?
Right.
So it
Yep,
takes
he
them a
did.
while to adjust. Yeah,
And they're moving him to right field this year too.
crazy. He can run it down though, so I mean, I kind of like that for them, but
No, he was just so bad in center field a year ago. That's why they
yeah,
added Harrison Bader.
yeah, which I like that signing for them. He
Yeah.
controls that center field so well. But all right, and then our next team, our final team we got is your New York Yankees at 90.5.
Over,
Yeah,
vamos! I'm taking the over. I think legitimately this is going to be a top 6 pitching rotation in the entire sport by the end of the year. We always know the Yankees get like off to like really, really hot starts offensively. And early in the year last year, they had Pablo Reyes trot out there to go play third. Like third base is just going to be better. And like they have options once Volpe gets back. Like they can play Caballero at third. Like they can play McMahon at third, or they can play Rosario at third against lefties. So I think they're going to be good against lefties and righties this year for the most part. So I'm in on the Yankees, and I think that they win. I think they win 92 games. That's what I
yeah,
got them at.
yeah. I'm going
92
over.
wins.
I think they'll be 94. I think they'll be finished like 3 games out of first place. I'm picking the Blue Jays to win the division.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But my point is this kind of reminds me, you remember the 22 season where they started off as the best team in baseball and like
Yeah.
had that really, not so good 2021? Gives me the same like kind of vibe. Guys, they're just gonna get out to a hot start. Like they have good guys that hits left-handed pitching. Ahmed Rosario, like we said, a guy that's gonna come in off the bench. Jose Caballero, he's probably gonna be at short for long term this year. I don't think Anthony Volpe is going to be very productive at all. Um, but yeah, man, I like this lineup a lot. Obviously, number one in all of baseball. They're running it back, and they got guys in the minors too. Can't forget about Spencer Jones, and
I love Spence, dude. We had a
good
good
guy.
Spencer Jones talk, dude. I
Yeah,
love him. I think
yeah,
he's fantastic. I mean, he's gonna be a plus defender no matter what. Got a huge arm. Obviously, was one of those Vandy boys, and this like he's still relatively new to full time hitting. He was a pitcher. Like that's what he was.
yeah.
He was just gonna be a pitcher,
Mhm.
and led all of minors in home runs a year ago, and missed a bunch of time with the back injury. So, just huge power, and you'll probably see him at some point. Obviously, like him and Dominguez will play in the big league club this year because we know Giancarlo's not going to play. He's going to play 100 games tops. So you're gonna need someone for that, and then obviously like, you never know with Belly and with Grisham and with Judge, what could pop up. So I'm excited about this team, man. I think they're going to be really good, and I think that they're just more complete earlier in the year this year. And there's no looming threat of DJ LeMahieu taking at bats. There's no
For
looming
sure.
threat of Pablo Reyes taking at bats. Like there's just none of those. So I
Got no
have this
Josh
this
Donaldsons.
no, Josh. There's just no looming threats of like a zero. I mean, last year, like Jorbit Vivas took at bats last year.
For a long time.
Yeah, like as Waldo, what Peraza? Yeah, Peraza took at bats last year. Like we had a bunch of horrible players taking at bats last year, and those guys are all gone. So it's
Yeah.
funny they are running it back with the big dogs, but I think like the depth in the clubhouse is a lot deeper than it was last year.
Yeah, and they're returning the best outfield in all of baseball offensively last year. And my question, we'll end the show in a bit, but my question for you is like, if Trent Grisham takes a step back, do you move Aaron Judge to center field and then like have Spencer Jones in right?
Nope,
How,
you
how
play
would you do
Spencer
that?
Jones in center field.
You like him in center field?
Yeah,
Okay,
Aaron Judge is a big league center fielder. I mean, like you trust his. I already trust his defense, the ability to track fly balls. He plays center field in the minors right now. Big speed and has shown the ability to make good plays on the ball and has the arm talent. You don't risk Aaron Judge offensively or like injury wise or anything, and move him back to center. You keep Aaron in right and you play Spencer in center,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. The only question for me about Spencer Jones is the strikeout rate. Struck out 25% of the time last year, but like as a guy that big, you're gonna expect swing and miss, right? You're not going to
Yeah,
expect
dude, and, like, I
unauthorized
hate it.
contact.
Dude, like
Yeah,
like, Blaine Casey, whatever his name is, struck out a trillion times,
dude.
and he was
Yeah,
still heralded as, like, a top 10, top 20 prospect, and it's like Spencer Jones, like, has, like, explosive touch power. Like, I watch him get under balls that travel 400 feet, like, that looks like he didn't get. So, yeah, you worry about the swing and miss, but it's, like, just an element of danger, right? And so I'll take that. And also, like, if you hit him in the right spot and he improves the eye a little bit, you force teams to throw him strikes. And
for
that's where
sure.
he's going to be really, really dangerous.
Yeah, I like him in the lower third if he makes the
Yeah.
club. Like
I mean, I
batting
would hit him.
sixth.
I would hit him right after Giancarlo, dude. I
Yeah,
would. I swear I would.
batting fifth or sixth, dude. I feel like that
Mhm.
six would be perfect for him because like one, they're guys are not really protecting him, but he's going to see more like fastballs in that bottom third because that's just how baseball is at that
Yeah.
point. Like in
I mean,
their
I
career
might
as
mess
rookies.
around and hit him last.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, what a turnover to the lineup though.
Yeah, like
What
I
a
would,
big
I
run.
would, I would mess around and hit him last. If that's the case, I don't know if I would hit Trent leadoff, but I would hit him last and try to work like Belly up there or Ben
Mhm.
Rice up there.
Yeah, I like Ben Rice as the leadoff. Dude
Me
hits the
too.
ball so hard.
He was a good leadoff hitter a year ago,
Yeah,
bro. He hit the ball so hard for things frozen rope.
yeah. All right, man. Well, I'll get us out of here. I appreciate you all for joining. I appreciate Kris for joining on, man. It means a lot. So
Heck yeah, dude. This was awesome. I
yeah.
love talking ball, obviously.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we'll definitely have Kris back on later sometime. I'll let you guys know. I'll probably post it on Twitter next time we come up. But that's for the middle of the order. We'll see you next time.